Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is Friday, October 7th, and it's First Friday, Anthony.
First Friday on the 7th.
Yeah, on the 7th, which is strange.
Yeah, 1 in 7 shot.
Yeah, 1 in 7. So I'm definitely going to go downtown to the Arts District tonight and check it out.
It's actually the 20th anniversary of First Friday.
Oh, wow.
So, for people who don't know, it's a big get-together in the Arts District, which is near downtown, walkable. And it's kind of like a big street festival.
Yeah.
It started as sort of an arts festival, and now it's just kind of like everything, music and food and a lot of pop-up food trucks, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great. I always say if you're going to go get dropped off like at Soul Belly Barbecue, because that's like kind of like right in the middle. You can walk.
Parking's a problem, yeah. But it's fun. Yeah,
it's a great time. Also, we hate to do this. We're going to start with some unfortunate news from the Strip. There was an attack.
Yeah, well, everybody's asking about it, so we want to talk about it. There was kind of a random attack, stabbing, no other way to say it. Some guy with a knife on the Strip who was in front of Encore and then, spilled over to Palazzo across the street. And just somebody randomly with a knife killed 2 people.
Yeah, and this must have been like a big knife.
I guess. I haven't seen it or looked at it or anything, but the reason we're saying it is because people are asking. And it's news, but also just cautionary. It's not like the Strip is like people are running around with machetes and stuff, and there's a problem. But
there's really not a problem.
But you got to keep there's more problems now than there have been in the past. And you've just got to be aware. When you're walking down the Strip, you just keep your head on a swivel, or anywhere in Vegas. Anywhere there's money. And lots of people, there's a potential for bad things to happen. You've really got to be cognizant of your whereabouts and be careful.
And be careful. And this doesn't happen on the Strip,
Right. There are problems. It was worse during the shutdown and the pandemic. There were problems everywhere. But like I said, people aren't running around with machetes, but people are running around. So you gotta be aware.
Yeah. All right, it's a little bit of a cautionary tale coming from the Strip, but, I'm there all the time at all hours of the night, and I always feel pretty safe. All right, and in good development news, another major project on the south side of the Strip has been announced.
Right. Well, we've talked about this before. When the parcel was bought by Tillman Fertitta, we talked about his intention to create another big resort, a mega resort, really a mega resort. This is at the corner of the Strip and Harmon, which is essentially across the street, across the boulevard from City Center. And it's just been announced that he is absolutely going forward with this. He wants to build a 43-story, 2,400-room hotel casino.
Wow.
With, all the amenities, of course, restaurants and a showroom and a convention center and meeting space and a spa and a wedding chapel and an auto showroom.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So I guess they had to do something different. It's not the first one. Oh. When Wynn opened, they had a Ferrari shop in there. And it was kind of a interesting attraction to go in and walk around and look at Ferraris, but I guess he's going to do something of the sort,
That's pretty cool. Resorts World did something similar with Rolls Royces when they opened.
Yeah, when they had them all lined up and, in the hallway there. But, there was no it was just announced what he was going to do. Apparently the plans have been submitted. There's no name, there's no timetable.
No theme?
Not that was mentioned. So,
okay.
No name, no theme. But this is probably going to happen. Forbes puts him at $7.7 billion net worth.
There you go. All right.
So this is the cousin of the Fertittas who own the the Station Casinos empire here.
Yeah. And sold the UFC.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And Tillman Fertitta also owns Golden Nugget downtown. So.
Well, this is really exciting. Also, because it's such a giant space to fill on the Strip.
Well, it's not that giant. It's only it's a 6-acre footprint, but it's like right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, so that's kind of it's centrally that part of the Strip really needs something like this.
It's going to be more cool down there, man. It's going to be fun when that place gets open.
I'm excited for it. All right, and in other nightclub news, Mandalay Bay is switching off the light, so to say.
Yeah, that's a good one. A good one. Yeah, the Light nightclub at Mandalay Bay has closed.
Yeah,
it's not gonna close; it's closed. They made an announcement this week, and one day later they shut the doors.
Okay.
And Light was one of the originals. It was one of it started at Bellagio.
I went to that one.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been to the one at Mandalay Bay. So back then they used to kind of compete with one or two nightclubs in a place. For instance, Mandalay Bay had Rum Jungle before it was taken over by Light, and then Red Square was right next to it, which was another kind of a smaller nightclub.
Okay. So what is Light going to be replaced with?
They haven't said, but I don't think it's going to be another nightclub.
Okay.
And I honestly, Andrew, I think this nightclub thing is starting to sputter out a little. I mean, not that they're going to go away. It's still a big deal, but it used to be, 2 or 3 a year would show up, new ones, or they change themes or something like that. And you just aren't hearing that kind of news. And here's one closing. So, I mean, maybe it's starting to sputter a little bit.
Interesting. All right. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it. And, in the meantime, I'm going to go hang at the Palms, at the Ghost Bar.
Yeah, right. Good one.
So last week we talked about you were preparing to go to the Blackjack Ball here in Vegas. And how was it? Tell us about it.
Oh, it was great. It was unbelievable. It was the 25th anniversary of the Blackjack Ball, as we mentioned. Usually it's held in the clubhouse or something along those lines. This time it was held at the Ruvo Center.
Okay.
And, it was a real celebrity event. Not only were some of the top gamblers in the world there, but people like Mattress Mac. We've talked about him, the big sports bettor out of Houston. George Maloof. I sat next to George Maloof.
All right.
Tony Bloom, big hedge fund guy. Edward Thorpe, the guy who started the whole thing, addressed the group with an announcement, a pre-recorded announcement. He didn't come because he's 90 years old, and he's still got some COVID concerns.
Right.
But he did a great addressing of the group. It was fantastic. It was just a real spectacle.
Now, there was a new Hall of Fame inductee. Who was it?
Well, it was the woman we talked about, I think, also last week or 2 weeks ago, which was Kat Hulbert. Mm-hmm. And Kat was really one of the first female advantage players on a high level. Played on big blackjack teams, throughout Europe. A group called the Czechs, became a professional poker player, and unfortunately died a month before being inducted.
Oh, geez.
And it's a real shame. But we mentioned this before. If you want to read about Kat, Richard Munchkin did a book called Gambling Wizards. Mm-hmm. And she's one of the 7 or 8 profiles in that book. You can read about Kat Hulbert there, and a really fascinating woman. And it was... sorry she didn't get to see it, but it was great to see her go in. First woman in the Blackjack Hall of Fame.
Yeah. All right. And also Richard Munchkin has the Gambling with an Edge podcast. Right. Him and Bob Dancer, which is a great podcast.
Well, Richard Munchkin and the founder of the Blackjack Ball, which is Max Rubin, they ran the show, and they were unbelievable. They were just so smooth. It was just such a great show. But it wasn't just Kat. Blair Hull, who is a longtime blackjack player, very successful hedge fund guy. He was a recipient of the first Edward O. Thorpe Lifetime Achievement Award, which for all the things that he's done for blackjack over the years, and that puts him also in the Hall of Fame. So there are actually 2 new inductees.
Oh, that's terrific. Okay. Yeah. Well, congratulations to them. The other thing that you had mentioned is that there was a skills competition, a blackjack skills competition. So tell us a little bit about that, and how'd you do?
Well, there's a skills competition every year. Okay. So, to pick out supposedly the world's greatest blackjack player. Well, it doesn't really do that. But, it is a competition with all the best players playing against one another. We start with a test that everyone has to take to get down to the top 6 who will compete on the final table.
Like a written test.
Yeah, a written test where they ask questions about blackjack and gambling and things like that.
Okay.
So I made it to the final table, which I've done many times. I've won it once. Uh-huh. All right, we're going to put a picture up with me holding the trophy. The trophy is a giant bottle of champagne.
There you go.
And I won it a couple years ago, but I've been on the final table I don't know how many times. This is the 9th or 10th time.
Okay.
And I only won it once. And I did not equip myself very well this year. I was the first one out.
Oh, first one out of the final table.
Yeah, it was estimate number of decks in a discard tray, and I was farthest off. And it might have had something to do with all the wine and champagne. I don't know, but
maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
I totally blew that one. That was I was not impressed with myself, nor was anyone else.
Well, how was the wine and the champagne?
Well, they were great. I went and had some more.
Perfect.
After I was first one up, I went right to the bar and I had a hard drink.
All right. There you go.
Give me a vodka soda. Let's go.
That sounds like a good time. So cheers to next year. and maybe you'll do better at the final table next year.
Yeah, and I should mention, though, the winner was Daryl Purpose.
Okay.
And Daryl is another, he's already in the Hall of Fame, but he now won his first skills contest. And Daryl played with Ken Houston. A lot of people have heard of Ken Houston, famous player from years back. And Daryl is the fastest card counter I've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
I've watched him count cards, has that reputation. I've watched him. He's amazing. I was pretty fast when I was doing it, never as fast as Daryl. So Daryl was a worthy recipient, a worthy winner of this.
All right. Lots of cool things happen. So
congratulations to all of them.
Yeah. And in our Survivor update, people are asking for it, Anthony. What's going on with the CIRCA Survivor update?
Well, it's true. It's like, every time we don't mention it, somebody says in the comments, well, what about it? Or you forgot it and whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, CIRCA continues. Let's see, what do they got left? 1,222. Mm-hmm. All right, so that sounds like a lot, but remember there were over 6,300, I think, 61 or 6,300 to start. Anyway, this is only 20%.
Oh, wow.
All right, so 4 out of 5 have been knocked out already.
Yeah.
And we're down to the final 20%. 1,222 left, playing for $6 million.
Well, there you go. I mean, somebody's going to make it to the end.
Yeah, somebody's going to get there. I mean, the thing about this contest is if everybody bets on this, they could all lose this, this time. They're not gonna. 1,000 people aren't going to bet on the same team. Aren't going to pick the same, but they can go fast, and this doesn't even have to go to the end of the year. At the rate they're dropping out, it might not.
Well, first of all, I want to say it's not as exciting for me now that you're not in it. When you had 6 entries, it was a lot more exciting for me because you have a friend in it. But
that lasted all of 2 weeks. But
sometimes it happens that way.
It's been a rough tournament for a lot of people.
Yeah. Are you going to do that again next year?
Of course.
Of course. Okay. So we're looking forward to next year. But then this is good for companies like DraftKings and sports books and things like that.
Yeah, it's good for the sports books. I mean, they don't have anything to do with this contest, which is CIRCA.
Yeah.
But this means that, in Survivor, you don't pick against the point spread.
Right.
You just pick a winner. So they're picking a lot of the favorites, and the public tends to bet on favorites. Mm-hmm. In Survivor, you pick the best teams. Mm-hmm. So you pick the big favorites. Mm-hmm. So when the big favorites lose, the sports books everywhere do well because the public also bets on big favorites.
So we'll keep updating everybody on Survivor weekly.
Yeah, until it's over.
All right, and in this week's Jackpot of the Week, it comes to us from Kevin N., and it says, we watch your YouTube weekly broadcast religiously. Thank you for all the good information. Attached is a picture of a recent jackpot I hit on my birthday at the Aquarius in Laughlin. It's on 8-5 Ultimate X double-double bonus. I was dealt aces with a kicker with multipliers for a total of 66,000 nickels, $3,300. Yes, a very nice way to celebrate my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Kevin. I hope you tipped extra big that night and maybe got maybe a few extra drinks.
Well, here we are, man. Ultimate X again.
Yeah.
We keep showing Ultimate X because that's kind of where the action is. You look at this at the photo of that jackpot. I call it the laser light show when that happens. Everything's lit up, your bonuses and all that.
Yeah.
He had, he got this thing dealt to him. He's got a couple of 12-time multipliers there. Mm-hmm. That's just a huge hit on nickels.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
He was playing. It's interesting. Also, he was playing in Laughlin.
Uh-huh.
The Aquarius Hotel. Laughlin is a fun place to go. People who lament missing the old Vegas. A lot of the old Vegas is still in Laughlin. It's a fun. It's not really a side trip because it's 100 miles away, but it's a cool place to go, and you can stay overnight there. It's great.
Well, I really want to go, so maybe I'll go check out the Aquarius Hotel. I've been meaning to go to Laughlin because it's only like a 90-minute drive outside of Vegas.
Yeah, it is. It's you go through some beautiful scenery. Go through some mountainous areas, mm-hmm. and then down into the kind of the valley where it's next to the Colorado River. Laughlin is set right on the Colorado River.
Get some Joshua trees and stuff like that.
It's very cool, man.
Yeah, I like driving through the Mojave.
So great jackpot. One more thing I'd like to mention is that we keep talking about Ultimate X, right?
Yeah.
You can go play for free at LasVegasAdvisor.com.
And I do.
Oh, I do it too. Whenever I'm working, I just want to take, I want to relax for a minute.
Yeah.
I flip it on. It's just free. It's free to play, and you can see what Ultimate X is all about. It's like crack. Be careful.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and some of those machines call my name. They're like, Andrew. All right, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.